Happy today, guys. We're going to explore riveting, so you want to have your pieces ready and take your Sharpie and mark where you're going to drill a hole. Now, before you drill a hole, it's very important to use your center punch. The center punch makes a divot. That way your drill bit stays right in the divot and doesn't skate all over your metal and scratch it up. For this sample, we're going to use a number 60 drill bit, which is specifically sized for 18 gauge wire. You can use brass wire, copper wire, silver wire, whatever you want. And we're going to use our flex shaft. Okay, this is a new tool that maybe not everybody's familiar with. You have a chuck key, and you're going to put it in this little hole, and you're going to open up, you're going to twist it until you can fit your drill bit inside of the hole. Tighten it in 2 different holes, and then you want to test to make sure it's completely straight. So watch this. Okay, that has a tiny wobble, but that's okay. They're not all perfect. Now, I'm going to show you what not to do. Let's say you're in a hurry, you just jam the drill bit right in there. And look at how crooked that is. No, 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 no. Not a good situation. Put it back in straight. Now, of course, you can drill right into your bench pin. It's made of wood. But I use a scrap piece of wood. And then I wax my drill bit just like I would my saw frame. I place my drill into the divot and press down firmly while I push the foot pedal. Here's another angle so you can see a bit better. It's really important to clean up that area on the back side of where you've drilled. You can use a file, or a little trick that I've learned is to use a larger drill bit and just twist it, and that gets that burr off. That burr will be in the way of your rivets, so you need to clean that up. You want to look at your companion piece and do the exact same thing. Oh goody, now that we haven't broken any drill bits or anything, we're going to take our piece of wire, and I've chosen brass. And I find it easier to go ahead and take my file and make a bit of a sharp point on it because we want a tight fit, and this helps me jam that wire into the holes. Since I filed a sharp point, I find it faster to go ahead and snip off that sharp point. And then what I need to do is use my file to create a totally flat plane on the top of that wire in preparation for riveting. Okay guys, listen up. This is the hard part. It has to be exactly 1/2 the diameter of the wire sticking out of the hole on each side. You can't have too little and you can't have too much. Too much will create a wire that folds over, and too little will create a rivet that is not secure. So once you get that other part cut off, you have to file that flat as well. See, it's like just a teeny tiny bit of wire on each side. Just a tiny. Using your trusty riveting hammer, you want to tap a few times, turn it 90 degrees, and tap again. And you're creating a spreading. You're forming this wire, and eventually it will be like a mushroom. Don't forget to hover on your first side of your rivet. You have to account for the spacing. You don't want to have all the wires sticking up and hammer that, because when you flip it over, you won't have anything else to hammer. After you flip it over, go ahead and just hammer a few times, turn it 90 degrees, and hammer again. You don't have to worry about hovering, but just don't go hog wild on whamming that thing with your hammer. Now, when I flip it back over to the front side again, sometimes I want to make sure it pops up, so I'll use a rawhide mallet to get that thing to pop back up, and I'll repeat the process again. Once I've finished with my goldsmith's hammer, I'm going to go ahead and take my chasing hammer on the ball peen end, and I'm going to hit these small outer edges down. So if you can imagine going in a circle, I'm focusing on hammering those outside edges so that it's not sharp and it doesn't snag. So you can always keep checking it with your finger. Keep in mind, you always want to drill all the holes on your top piece first, okay? And then you rivet one, then two. After that, you can continue to drill out all the holes on the bottom piece and rivet until your little heart is content. Always keeping in mind, 1/2 the diameter of the wire is the amount of wire that sticks out on both sides before we begin to rivet. Just complete all the rivets on your project, and here's my sample. But later I'll show you a tutorial on this little keychain. Thanks for watching, guys.